It's giving what it's giving.
Woo, woo, woo.
It's supposed to give.
What is the deal, you guys? Trio podcast episode 11.
11.
So
Consistency.
Consistency.
We talk about that every
It's the consistency for me.
Yes.
Right.
We are super happy to be here again another week. I am Fallon.
Christian. Mookie.
And today, as they say in church, today, we have an extreme. First of all, this is our first guest the Trio
guest.
Pod has
The
ever
first
had.
guest?
You busted our little first guest, Cherry.
Oh, and it's girls.
So there's that.
What's tea?
But super special guest. I mean, I don't think this man needs any introduction. If you know me, you for sure knew him because before there was a me, there was him.
And then when I moved out here, it was us.
Yes.
And
The whole-
you all.
Yes.
I hung out with y'all.
It's a fact.
Yes. Old Hollywood
stories.
days. We got
BET
stories.
OG, okay. College Hill season 3, Virgin Islands.
Yes.
From there, Love and Hip Hop. So many different things in between. Mookie's like, wait, there's some other things that have been in between.
I was like Virgin Islands. I thought it was.
I was
excuse
thinking
me,
he's right.
VSU.
No, she's Virgin
VSU,
Islands. Yes.
VSU.
But we traveled so much together.
right.
We
And
were
I'm
like
so
one
used
group.
to saying that Fallon favors from College Hill, Virgin Islands, season 4. Like, bitch, this not about you.
Right.
Season 3 VSU. Yeah, so we're just super happy to have you. Ray Cunningham, Mr. Ray.
Yes.
But a lot of y'all don't know, the first person that I spoke to from season 4 while they were filming was Fallon
On the phone. On their phone. On the College Hill phone.
On the college, I didn't know I was calling a recorded line. I got in trouble. I was working at BET
Yes.
by then.
At the time.
So at the time I was working at BET. So I'm like, oh my God, girl, welcome to the show. Girl, it's crazy. What's it like?
What
She
year was
used
that?
to be the T. This was like
This was
2006.
This is 06 because it aired in 07. So
Yeah,
this is
because I
06.
graduated and moved out to LA and started working at BET when they were in Burbank.
Right.
And you all were in Virgin Islands. They're like, you're not supposed to be talking to them. I'm like, oh my God, it was a fight.
And they gave us the same thing. Don't talk to anybody outside. Well, which I don't understand why. Maybe it was a production thing.
Back
We just
then,
didn't
it was
understand.
so early. They didn't
Right.
know. They didn't want us influencing them and their experience because, again, I think the Sean and whatever production company, well, Edmonds Entertainment just took
Right.
over, or BET had just switched over to Viacom. So it went from looking like a project to like Real World.
Real,
It
yeah.
did. No shade to the first 2 seasons.
Right.
It just was shot way different. So,
Right.
and there was a lot of buzz around it. I said, let me see who this girl that's from Inglewood.
Well, they thought that I was going to be the one to set it off. 'Cause
Right.
That's
You
how
were supposed to be like the Anya.
I was supposed to be that
Yes.
one because that's how I interviewed to get on the show. But once I got on there, I'm kind of like, you start thinking about your mama, your aunties,
Right,
everybody
but
else.
how's this
kinda
gonna look
like-
at church?
Right. So I started being like, let me tone it down just a little bit. I gave him a little something, but I didn't go all the way. But
Right.
back to you, like. It's just I'm so happy to have you here. Like it's
I'm
been such
excited
a
to be here with y'all.
it's been such a long road. I think just
Like, I know you guys authentic. Like, we partied
Right.
together.
Yes. This
We
is like
partied
10
through our
plus
20s.
years.
Yes.
many
Yes.
moons.
Yes.
Many moons. And I always talk
Yes.
about that. We did like a phone call segment last week. I called one of my friends, Daviante or Gator or whatever. He's on Dave's season. Dave, I don't know what season it is, but Dave on FX.
2.
Okay.
And it's just so crazy because I always tell him, like, you have been doing this Hollywood thing for so long. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, I think, get into this industry and are kind of like super feeling themselves, kind of.
You have your moments. Like, today, I'm feeling myself because I just found out I have a billboard in Atlanta.
That's such a big deal.
Right.
I'm
That's
so
such a big
excited
deal.
about that. We'll talk about all that, but like,
Yeah.
Well, cheers to
being,
that.
well, we'll cheers to that. With the black girl
Yes.
wine, the black girl magic,
Yes.
Black girl
magic.
sparkling brute.
Right. Okay.
Oh, it's a champagne.
Yes.
Champagne. Yes.
This is the McBride sisters.
We're bougie
black
today.
owned.
Yes.
Listen, black owned. Okay?
This is good.
And it's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know me, Fallon. You've known me a long time. Mookie's hit me up about. We talked about all kind of random things. You and I bumped into each other at events. I met your daughter.
I just always.
I don't let Hollywood get to me. I work
Right.
in Hollywood. I live in Hollywood. I'm on a show about Hollywood. I'm openly gay in Hollywood, but I'm not Hollywood. Now, I do have a certain standard. So when I say I want a certain drink or I want to sit a certain place
Right.
or I don't want to attend something or I don't want to entertain something, I mean it.
Right.
And I can, now, that's me being Hollywood and bitch, I'm
Well, I
Hollywood.
think you've earned it.
But you can demand that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain things like I don't want to. Like the other day, it was a situation on social media. I could have easily gone in and
we
went
gonna go right to it?
Oh, okay. I missed it.
I was,
There's a new Ray in town.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was a lot.
We gonna talk about it?
was
And I
so
wasn't
much.
embarrassed by one thing because
Yeah.
every single thing she wrote about.
And you pulled out the receipts.
Let me just say, Fred, if y'all gonna call me and say you read my book, you should know what's in my book because everything you thought you was exposing, I wrote about. So I was not embarrassed. It was free promo. God worked it out in the end. So and it's still number one. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Because Boogie was like, "Do I need to make a trip?"
Right. I'm like, what's tape,
Over,
right?
over the mountain. I was like, "Girl,
Not over the mountain, girl.
That's
Over yonder and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to know. I mean, are we
With the
done?
cat? Were you? Did you not know it was a cat in here?
no."
That's
Oh,
Mr.
you
Morris.
Not a purr?
I just heard the purge. I was like, "What?"
Oh, that cat goes in.
Big
I thought
purr.
Morris was Putin walking around.
Oh my God.
Excuse me, Miss Waters, with all due respect.
What's happening? And then she
all-
walking out
Right.
with her trying to hold her
Real
belly.
slow. All I
Keep it
hear is
together, keep it together.
all I heard was
Respect.
brrr.
That's Mr. Morris. Don't be alarmed.
Miss Waters got way more. Way more.
More class.
Poetess, why were you walking away real slow? All I heard was brrr.
I wouldn't know. Miss Porter's got manners, okay?
She excused herself to not be
right. She was passing gas and she was walking past the cameras, okay?
Alright. We had too much of the fart talk or whatever on the stripper episode.
Girl,
whatever
that was-
episode that was.
She
That was
did.
You had a strippers?
not a stripper episode. We talked about Mookie had a story about a stripper taking a
And-
shit before the
No.
stage.
Club, right?
Yeah.
Strippers aren't supposed to shit.
That was the whole thing.
That was the
They were
point.
jeans. Was it a guy or a girl?
It was a girl in the bathroom
oh.
at King Henry back in the
Still go out
day.
and shaking it.
Absolutely.
And we
Oh.
don't know if she went out.
No, I was there.
So she
That's
went
how
back
I
out.
She said she
know.
went out.
That's how
She
I
went
know
out in
because
the
we
floor
were
and was shaking that phone.
Yes, that's how. Exactly. That's why
All
I was like,
natural.
what the fuck? Like,
Oh, that's one.
Tooting it and booting
That's
it.
one the
After she
homies don't
takes
want,
that
and I don't
shit.
want none of neither.
That's
one of
nasty.
those.
So are you in LA now? Because I know you're kind of bi-coastal. I know you spent time
Yeah.
like in, you're from Virginia, right? Okay, so you spent time in DC, you've spent time in LA, Atlanta, like,
I have lived.
You
I've lived
lived?
everywhere but
Yes.
Miami. I've even lived in New York. I lived in Harlem too.
wow.
I don't mind getting up and moving. I come from a railroad family, so I'm used to my dad being on the road, my sister being on the road, grandfather being on the road. My mother's a PA. She's from LA. My mama from Compton. Shout out to my mama.
Hey,
shout out to
mama.
Youngton.
Crazy thing is, my my grandmother retired from Compton High.
Okay.
And my grandfather was the superintendent for schools in LA Unified District. And then my mom actually taught for a little bit at Compton High. So, like, y'all try to think I'm real bougie. My family's from that end of the 110.
Right.
So
Right. Don't try it.
it. They still out here.
Right.
I had a lot of cousins out here I didn't know I had. But LA is my favorite place I've lived.
You think?
Since I've been born, I've always loved palm trees. Palm trees has been my favorite thing. Even my new place, I made sure I was like, do I have a view of a palm tree?
Right.
Yeah.
Right there. Like, that makes me feel like I'm here. I'm not in Virginia where there's dogwood dells and the pussy willow trees. It's actually palm
A little
trees.
different.
You know, I ain't in the country no more.
Right, right.
it
Has
makes
all
it
the
my
moving
thing.
been because of like gigs or jobs, or you just kind of like a free spirit? Like
I'm a free spirit and I get up and move. When I don't like the energy or it's too much for me and I can't get comfortable, I move. I'll go.
Right.
I will sell everything and go and start all over. I know that's bad.
No, that's not actually. No, it's not.
That's admirable. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wish they had those kind of
If I didn't
guts.
have a kid, I think I'll be the same way.
But you can still move. I
No
mean, you
matter.
don't want to move around because you want her to stay
No,
situated.
with a child, you got to be a little bit more stable.
Yeah, I know, I
you
get
know, they
it.
have friends. They're growing up. You know, the whole change of environment can be very shocking. But
Yeah.
maybe when she gets older and do her own thing, Mama could just live her life. You know,
I mean, Fallon's about to live. Well, we're going to live through Fallon for a little bit.
Oh, my
Fallon
God.
baby about to be in high school.
I am knocking at the door. She wants to go to Howard. She's talked about going to Howard.
And I will talk to her about promote HBCs. I'm in grad school right now.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Congratulations.
Virginia State, media management major.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's okay. Go into that. What does that all entail?
Media management, that's media law and ethics. That's basically learning how to run. I can run a studio. I'm running a studio, marketing agency. Anything that has to do with media, this is teaching me the management side of it, like the
Are you
corporate side of
are
it.
you
Tap
taking
into
that
that.
up for your what's this what's your company
Social status?
social status there we
I
go.
haven't even really done anything with social status.
PR
I mean,
company.
of course, that's my PR company.
Right.
Pandemic, there was nothing really going on, and I was doing like a lot of freelancer
Right.
jobs, with bringing other influencers on to work with brands. So I worked with Eco. So I was able to use Chris Brown's daughter,
Okay.
Royalty.
Yes.
I had Snoop's daughter, Corey, my little sis, Corey. I had Don Benjamin. I had Cynthia Bailey. Sammy is fine.
Ooh,
This before that
Sammy.
picture came out on the blogs when he was working out jumping rope. That was before the jump rope.
He's handsome.
He's
But yeah, I've had, as you know, I've had a bunch of different jobs in the industry. I've worked on camera, behind the camera, in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
And I just said, well, you know what? I'm 15 years removed from school. My nieces are all graduated and having kids of their own.
Yeah.
I
all your
said I need
nephews
to
grow
stay in
up.
the conversation in terms of knowledge and what we need to know because everything is really digital now. and everything is really different from when you and I went to school back then. Like,
for sure.
Even the math that they do now, I'm like, what?
Right? How many different ways can you learn? And then Mookie knows Mookie has been in education for many, many years. How many different ways can you add or subtract or make it come together?
I don't have time for all that. So I said, I need to stay in the conversation. I need to stay up to date. So let me go get my master's, because we sat home for the pandemic literally a year, and I did nothing but watch TV, and I could recite every movie online forwards and backwards. But I saw that people were still going to school. They were still getting degrees, and people were graduating, like the digital graduations. And I was like, okay. Because we were originally going to do a college tour reunion. Right. Some tea. Right. And it didn't happen, unfortunately. We did do a video. Yeah. We did a video. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can get in grad school. And they said, oh, well, if you're a Virginia State graduate, you can come back and apply if you had the grades when you graduated. I said, oh. We got
that.
And it was pandemic, so I did it. I finished with a 3.5 for the semester.
That's amazing.
I'm excited. So I'll be done December 22. So we're going to have a party for that. We'll have a party for that.
That is inspirational.
And I've always wondered, too, I feel like when you started, was it 2006? Like, you've been able to, like, sustain and be, like, notable, incredible, and just be Ray throughout from then till now. Like, that's kind of,
that's
a lot of people
time.
fall off.
I
don't really know many people, like, coming from y'all's College Hill era who still, like, besides, what's his name, Willie? I think Willie was on Snowfall.
Willie, it's like
a handful.
Willie
Mack does, Willie, Dorian.
It's a couple I see here and there, but, outside of you and Fallon, and then, of course, Willie, like, you have been able to still be a force in the industry. Your start was College Hill. And I've always wondered, like, how the fuck does Ray, like,
how have you parlayed? That's the word I remember hearing.
Parlay.
You know,
it's hilarious.
You know who I got that from?
Parlay who?
Sean. So Sean gave us the full. That was Sean Rankin, but he was like, you have to find out a way to parlay this. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? But you have parlayed.
I literally did. I was a walking PR machine. I was fresh out of college. When you go to a historically black college, it's something about going to an HBCU. They put that drive in you to be creative and to market yourself and promote yourself. Because most of us in college, we're in campus organizations. So we're trying to make money, trying to figure out how we can make your organization better than the next. So I looked at my time on College Hill as that was the organization I was a part of. College Hill is my first family, and I always will reference them for that. Yeah. I've always given props to BET and Sean Tracy Edmonds, Robin Latiker for giving this opportunity for us to be a part of. We're part of black culture. We're part of black kids. We are the first black reality series on television. Oh, wow. They're the highest rated season. They went international. Well, it's not really international, but no one had been to the Virgin Islands. Like, we got to be a part of a time in history where we shaped the industry that I'm in now. If it wasn't for us, it'd be no Love and Hip Hop for me to be on. I mean, even though it's about women, they had. There was no drama bigger than that.
Right. That was the incident. Right.
And I think I've been able to stay here 15 years because I've been able to authentically and make friendships and still be able to call and see people. I know your mama.
Right.
I know her daughter. Baby showers, different things, holidays. We even went out of town, I think, together one time.
We went to Chicago.
Randomly.
I remember that.
Like, we flew out of town together. I mean, just different things we've all, genuine friendships with people, getting to know them and their families and what they're working on. If there's times I've called Fallon, like, hey girl, there's something going on, you want me to put you in? Like, just being authentic and genuine and wanting the people around you to win, because it's no fun celebrating by yourself.
Right. Yeah.
How did you learn who to trust in Hollywood and who not to trust? Because that's like
look here, listen.
Chapter 5.
We're gonna get to
page 15. But can you tell us a few experiences that you've had when you really learned the difference? Because you could tell us, because we've always heard, don't trust people in the industry, it's phony, it's fake, but then you meet these people and it feels so genuine.
It does.
Until it's not.
Social media makes it genuine, because when we started, it was only Facebook and MySpace.
Right.
So we had to go out and travel and meet people and actually interact with them, and we could see how the business dealings versus now on social media, you can basically study that person's page, their personality, their mood, what they like, what they don't like, who their friends are, who they're beefing with. Like, you can stalk a person and never meet them from social, and they will be in the social media has made it where these people are able to put in a position where they can come to us at our vulnerable moments. Like, y'all know me, I'm emotional. I'll get in a minute. Fuck niggas. I don't care.
Heart on your sleeve.
Yeah, heart on your sleeve. Those of us that are like that on social, and then those people slide in your DMs. They say the right things. They like the pictures. They start showing up to your stuff. They know
grooming
what
you
like.
almost
They're
in a
grooming
sense.
you. Like
Yeah.
they're patting you on the back, but it's divisive and it's planned and it's not authentic. So you think you're meeting someone who knows your likes and dislikes and
You just click,
you
thinking.
click, but it's a plan the whole time. And
Right.
that happens with regular, whether you're entertainment or you're in a corporate office, people do that. And it's a matter of having discernment in your third eye and trusting your gut. And I had to really go with that. Because some people, you be like, oh, they can't be like that. They're so nice and they know this person.
Yeah.
I've known them of them this long. They wouldn't do me like that. And they'd be the first ones, as you see, to do it. Like I was in a very vulnerable place 2 years ago. Y'all, they didn't even know about it. I didn't talk to College Hill about it. We have a whole
Group chat.
with everybody.
Yeah.
All the seasons. And
Right.
like I was on drugs. I was really low. I was like drinking. I was in a bad relationship, abusive relationship, physical one. I was estranged from my family. In my mind, I'm thinking I haven't talked to my siblings and my parents and aunts and uncles for like a day or two when it was really a month or two. Or, weeks or two. In my mind, I'm filming Love and Hip Hop. My hair is falling out. I have no eyebrows, no beard. The steroid had me bloated.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you would never know it from the show looking in because I was really in and out the show. Like that's my availability at that point in time. It wasn't that, Ray's not a main cast member, Ray's just supporting, he's not there on the studio. They wanted me. They knew what I was dealing with, and they did not exploit me, which I really do appreciate that. So shout out to Mona and Treva for that, because they saw what it was behind the camera. Like before glam, I knew I looked crazy in my green screen. Like I cried every green screen. Like I don't want to be on camera looking like this. I don't have no brows. My face is fat. I'm this. I'm that.
Yeah.
I was high. I was coming down, or I was going up, or just. It was so many things going on in my life because I hadn't healed from a lot of things that I suppressed. Like, my relationships wasn't right because I felt like my relationship with my mother wasn't right. So I said, if that relationship ain't right, nothing else gonna be
That's
right.
Absolutely.
I was, in a relationship where the guy that I was dating was the person I got my drugs from. So it was there. And then, that was the person who actually put my business out there to my family, which at first I was upset about, but in his messy way of doing that, I'm glad he did it because my family didn't. I hid it from no one knew unless you were
I'm
around
surprised
me.
because it seems that you're so close with your
and
family.
I was a fat cokehead. Who has ever seen a fat cokehead?
Oh my God.
And then I stopped
Neil
doing,
talks about that.
I'm so sorry. It's a truth.
But it's eating like a motherfucker on drug.
Lil Nell said that.
Eating, but now that I'm not on it, I don't do it. I've lost the weight, so it's so backwards.
Right.
Most
How?
people I know do coke to lose weight. I was gaining weight. It wasn't reacting right with me, and then with me also having hypoglycemia and my body not making sugar, so my sugar would get low. There's no reason I should have ever been doing cocaine in my life at all.
Right.
It was just, and it was something I got introduced to at an industry event.
Of course.
By someone who's in the industry I would never name. Now let's that
a
price
man or a
right on
woman?
that book.
How about that? Okay.
It was a guy.
Yeah.
It was a man who's well known out here.
Is he an exec?
He's not executive.
Rapper
Okay.
industry.
That's it.
He's not executive,
Okay,
but it was a social thing. Like, try this, because I was nervous. I had to go out on stage and introduce somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I had to go out on stage and introduce someone. This is my first time going on stage
and they
and
gave
doing
you
that.
a
I was
good
nervous.
15, 20 minute little
Excuse me.
little
LA, it's LA. It's LA.
I was going to say, how
Absolutely.
common is that you find people that you do business with, network with, you're at these network events and industry parties, how common is it that you see people living their life like this, that are maybe dealing with things behind the scenes that are basically substituting, person-to-person interaction or therapies or whatever they need to do to kind of get to the root of whatever their issues are and kind of like covering those up with like substances or different things
More
like that.
people, since the book has been out, and I've had more people reach out to me, for people really, because I think with me, I've always had a wall up. Like I keep Mr. Ray as this very clean and polished, buttoned up person, and I'm excuse me, that's the champagne, y'all.
Let me top you off.
Right, give me some more of that.
Let me top you off.
But I've tried to just have this image of just, I got it together and everything's perfect and everything's right, when it really wasn't. And I'm not saying I had a horrible life. I grew up with two sets. I had my family, my dad with my stepmother, I had my mother and my stepfather out here in L.A.
Right.
Sets of siblings, nieces, nephews, uncles. I have a whole family. So people were saying, well, how could you be going through that and they don't know? I only put out there, but people only know what you put out there. So if you're only putting out smiles and good times, that's all they think you're having.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know about the adversity. Like I deal with anxiety, I have depression. Working in television, probably that's the worst two things to have is having that.
Right.
And then on top of that, I was doing drugs, I was drinking, I was partying, I wasn't sleeping. And then with the hypoglycemia, I wasn't taking care of my body right. It was just a number of things that I was not handling. I wasn't handling my love life. I wasn't handling my family life in terms of I wasn't estranged. I just had cut people off. I stopped talking.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
oh, we're filming. I'm busy. I filmed late last night. I'll call you tomorrow. Like that was. I was coming up with excuses.
You're
I
just
was using the
pushing
show
them away.
to push them away and using the show as a mask to. Oh, I'm stressed out today because of the show. Oh, I didn't like what they aired. I knew I was filming. I knew what I was saying.
Right.
Show didn't stress me out. Love and Hip Hop is what you put into it. Is what you see on it.
Right.
So if I go in that scene acting, talking crazy, that's what they're gonna show.
Right.
So, knowing all of what you were dealing with during that time, when you look at Love and Hip Hop, what emotions do you have? Just look at yourself, like take away the behavior, but just when you physically look at you and what you're dealing with, what emotions do you have in that moment?
I honestly don't like to look back at those first 3 seasons I did because they were. It was really actually my second season, season 5. It was really bad. This is after Zell and I's all of that moment. That actually for the update. Zell and I are very cordial. We speak, we see each other. We can dab, we can smoke a blunt together. It's cool.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Well,
we got
that's
each other's
good.
numbers.
Right.
We don't follow each other on social because we ain't fake.
Right.
But we're cordial. We can work together. And
Right.
So was a lot of that
No, it was
Amped
real.
up, trumped up.
That's what
It was
I'm
amped
gonna
up by
say.
the cast members that were involved. So, of course, it's Alexis and Masika in real time having real beef over Fetty in real life.
Right.
On top of us being friends to these girls and wanting to defend them. And then again, we're on the show, so we know we have to tell this story.
Right.
We have to show our loyalty to these individual women. And then there's other people that were in the mix, Moniece and Nia and Tiara and Lyric, and like all these other people, their opinions come into the loop of who should be loyal to who and who should do what. And it was so let me tell y'all something. Season 4 of Love and Hip Hop changed my life, good and bad.
Right.
My nerves were all, I had been on TV about, at that point in time, it was,
Was it close to 10 years?
it was about 10 years, I think, because when we aired, I think Shade Room did a post like, oh, Blast from the Past, Mr. Ray is on Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
And I ended up being in the whole trailer because I'm like, I'm just a guest of Masika. I was
Right.
listening.
Yeah.
Remember
That
when
was
I
my
got,
next
Yeah.
I actually called Fallon when I got casted.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, oh my God, my girlfriend from Love and Hip Hop, she was on Virgin Islands. She does music. I was trying to get her to come on. I wanted somebody
Tying
with
it
me.
into the PR company.
Yeah, the PR. I want to do PR for her. And I was like, she's from College Hill. This would be a great moment because I did not want to be on there by myself.
Right.
Because watching Love and Hip Hop for how many seasons was on at that point in time, I was like, ooh, bitch.
Oh, you need to back up some real friends right now.
Yes, and I like Love and Hip Hop. You gonna get slapped or hit or spit on or kicked or you're not
Something.
gonna be on this show. It's not a kumbaya moment.
Right.
It's not a kumbaya.
You gotta
So
be
going
ready to
that,
bang.
I knew that.
Yeah.
And when it popped, I mean, my first scene out the gate was me and Zell, like,
I
was like, whoa, that's how this goes. Like,
Don't
was
they
real.
set up
Just turn
scenes
it
for
on.
y'all to be so catty?
It could be something like, let's just say Mook and I had an issue. And so they said, okay, Mr. Ray, you're going to do an interview with Fallon and Chrissy today, and Mook's going to come at the end. So I don't know, at one point in time during this interview, she's going to come in. So my mind is on, she finna come through this door. Either she going to come for me, or we going to talk it out, or she going to jump, or I'm going to jump. Like,
They're setting it up, but you don't know
setting-
how it's
yeah.
going to
you don't
play
know how it's
out.
going to play out. But they might have just told you inside, like, okay, Mr. Ray has agreed to shoot this scene with you, and he's going to apologize. So in your mind, you walking in, he finna apologize. But in my mind, it's, it could be a situation where I'm like, I don't want to talk to her. Fuck her.
Yep.
And when I see her, it's on site.
Right.
So they haven't told her that. They didn't give her
They
my
give
warning.
that tidbit. Right. Bitch, show up.
they like-
'Cause
But
they
that's
want
how,
the-
that's how they get the chaos.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how you catch them.
then that's
which
how
is
you get
100%
blindsided.
different from the way that we shot when we started reality TV.
College Hill for us was normal emotion.
Completely organic.
Camera's just there. Like, we could talk about 20 things and then they'll cut that whole thing to that one little juicy part. Like,
Right, right.
We didn't have to walk into places not knowing where one of the 8 of us was going to be.
No
Like, we
setups,
all-
no
yeah.
cameras here. Okay, so this is none of that stuff.
We picked where we
Completely
wanted to
organic.
eat. We picked what we wanted to do, who
Yeah.
we wanted to talk to, who we wanted to. Like, like with College Hill, if you had an issue with somebody, you didn't really have to talk to them at all.
Right.
Like, it was 7 other people in the house.
Right.
I'll
Right.
get to you when I get to you, girl.
Right.
Yeah, so
So maybe they kind of just, I don't know, start doing it a little bit more strategically to like kind of I don't know.
I think
I love
the drama.
I love it though.
They want stories.
They want stories.
And once they started worked, like the ratings came in, it was new. The shock factor when all of the shit really started to happen.
Yeah, we
were
like slapped on television. That's real life. Like, bitch, everybody's about to see this. Like,
Like, I think,
my God.
like Love and Hip Hop ATL, I think it changed the landscape of Love and
reality
Hip Hop
TV.
Or reality TV, period.
Yes, I think that ATL cast, that first one, I think it shifted things a lot.
I remember watching.
You know
that.
what I mean? So
Carlos King did that. Shout out to Carlos.
Did
King.
That was a good one.
He did Hollywood Divas too.
That was
Which
good.
I love that show. Oh my God, I love that show. I wish they would bring that back. R&B Divas too.
I love all his work. I love all his work, especially when he was doing Housewives of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And ever since he stopped, like,
It's been different.
I'm certain he noticed in Bravo too, but whatever. Neither here is about you today. So
Let's get into your book.
A message.
First of all, I love the cover art. It's tangible. Y'all can go get this. It's on Amazon.
It's $20.
Is it number one?
Yes.
It is number one on Amazon. Come on now.
No,
Come on now.
Look, listen.
Come on now.
It is
Mess with the message.
No
it's a
edits,
quick
true tea, all
read.
about me. Ooh.
I came up with that tagline laying in bed one day, and I was like, "This is gonna be me just being very honest and open." And I don't want no edits. I don't want anybody to. Because at first I was like, "Oh, VH1's gonna want to do the legal thing and make sure I ain't telling no tea about production." So there's no tea about production in there.
Right.
I'm trying to see. My book it's on Amazon. Oh, it's number one right now. Right now.
Our friends got books and stuff.
Books and stuff.
We'll definitely have that in the description box of the video. So what led you to feel like at this particular time in my life, I need to put this book out?
Yeah.
My mama, I'm just gonna be very blunt.
Okay.
My mama and I had an argument. We have not been on the best of terms for years. We have learned that her as a Gemini and me as an Aries.
I was just gonna ask what she was.
Distance is the best thing for us in text.
That is so funny.
She's a Gemini.
Okay.
June 4th. She's a Gemini.
Sorry, Mook. No.
Y'all know how y'all are.
One of your best friends is an Aries, though. So it works.
Wow.
So maybe it just depends. Okay.
Yeah.
And Cheryl is a Gemini straight out of Compton.
Cheryl.
Honey.
Okay.
Miss Cheryl.
Miss Cheryl is a Gemini straight out of Compton. And I can say we haven't had the healthiest relationship, but we've been actively working on that over the last couple of months since November. When I came out here to surprise my shout out to my Mimi, turned 89.
Yay.
Surprised her on her birthday. And my mom and I had up prior to that. The reason we stopped speaking prior, like we didn't speak the entire pandemic. She didn't know where I was at. Because she don't get on Facebook. She has a Facebook, but we're not friends. I blocked her. She was mad about it. Oh my God.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it funky. We had an argument, and she was like, she had prepared herself to bury me because of the way that I was going about things at that point in time with the drugs and the partying and just the lifestyle of being gay and being out here and spreading it low and dipping it,
Spreading it wide.
But my mom is old school. My mom is 65, so she works in the medical field, and she's seen the worst of everything. So my mom is a person who just thinks the worst because she sees the worst. Was working with veterans out here in LA.
Yeah,
sure.
And she said she had mentally prepared herself because of just what she knew, whether I was telling her about things or not, what she felt in her spirit. She said she had prepared herself to bury me because she didn't think that I was, the way that I was going, what she saw, I mean, my skin was flush. I was high all the time. it was crazy. And I said, well, just in case she's right, because, I said, let me write my story. I said, because I don't want her telling my story.
I see.
I don't want her telling my story. I don't want no one telling my story but me. Because I knew that I had a story. I knew that I had been here for 15 years for a reason. And I felt like I came out of that. Like, you can put drugs, you can put whatever in front of me right now. It's not going to bother me. It's not going to trigger me. And like the other situation I had on social media the other day, and the girl tried to put that out there, oh, you do drugs. When I call you, you're locked up in the house. Bitch, I'm in grad school. I'm writing 40-page papers in a book. Like,
and bitch, you late. Right.
How excited do you expect for me to be?
Right.
I came through that, and I can't say that's nothing other than my praying grandmother, so I appreciate her for that. But that's why I did that, because if my mom was thinking about that, and I was just like, okay, she must got something sitting on her spirit or something. But then again, my mama mean too, so I was like, you know what, girl? I don't know. Just in case there's some truth to this.
And just to kind of interject, so the first page I opened to was 109. And this kind of this is the page, this is where you were just talking about your hair falling.
My edges was gone, girl.
You got some good stuff up here
I
too.
know. Listen, this your feelings. It's not a
Oh, no,
hairpiece.
baby.
It's not a wig.
It ain't no
People was
juices in
asking
here. It
me,
ain't no
was this
nothing.
Cantu?
This is
It's
just
dry, actually.
It's dry. It ain't nothing in it.
This is fresh out the pool.
That's
too.
Creole.
Right.
They thought I
Okay.
had a man
It's
wig.
beautiful though. Healthy curls. But it just really shows like
I had nothing.
Your
I woke
journey.
up bald one day.
the vulnerability, like how open you are. 'Cause
I never even
this
posted
says
those
September
pictures.
30, 2018. You said, I didn't know how to feel at first. I got pissed off at the barber in my mind.
Yes.
When it was really,
I didn't even cut my hair too short.
cocaine and shit.
Right.
God
I had no
forbid,
hair.
excuse me. But, you know, I'm just like...
Everybody was blamed for my hair coming out.
Right.
I was writing the people at Pantene Pro. I said, y'all got sulfate in y'all
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Y'all made my hair fall
Right,
out.
and I will be seeing you on
I
the
would be
course.
sewing. Like,
Right.
it was... I was a mix of Jennifer Lewis
I
and
love
Whitney
this.
Houston.
Oh my
I
god.
love that. That's hilarious.
I was
That
erratic.
is
I was
hilarious.
crazy. Like, everything was so dramatic in my mind. Like, my hair being gone, I was like, bitch, who went... My eyebrows and my beard, Jesus?
Yes.
Like, really?
Pick one, Lord. Pick one.
But all of it.
one.
at the time, right?
And I feel like that happened at that moment in my life because things were just spiraling so badly out of control. I feel like that was God's only way of getting my attention. Okay, bitch, I'm gonna take your eyebrows, your beard, and your hair.
Yeah.
Now you look like a hard
Right,
boiled
we're gonna
egg.
take all
Yeah.
your
Not a hard-
vanity.
The vanity.
So at what
Yeah.
point?
It
What
was.
point did you get to when you're like, this has to stop? Like, was there a certain like episode, or was there a certain thing, or was you just laying in
Almost
bed and was
overdosed.
like, okay, whoa.
And I felt something was wrong. I could feel it in my chest. My heart was beating really fast. I was overheated. I was sweating. I remember my hands. So I was like, okay, so either it's my sugar's low with the hypoglycemia or something else is going on.
Yeah.
And I felt something else was. I'm not gonna cry about that. I
Oh,
felt something
don't do
different
that because
was
then
going
we
on.
will too.
Yeah.
Please
I'm
don't.
sorry.
It's all right though.
And,
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for going to that place to
Yeah.
share. If it's too
Yeah.
much, you don't have to indulge.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I called a friend of mine who just happened to live. I used to live at 1600 Vine, right there on Hollywood and Vine. And my girlfriend lived next door at the Camden. I said,
Yes.
Chrissy, come over. Her name's Chrissy, too. I said, Chrissy, come over. Something's wrong. I called 911. I said, I don't feel right. Something. And she knew about the situation. And she was there in like 2 minutes flat. And the paramedics came. I went. I think I posted a picture of me just like laying down with stuff on me or whatever. And that's when I got the diagnosis about the hypoglycemia, what I don't need to be doing, what I do need to be doing. That was right around the time where a friend of mine here had passed away. He worked with me here at Morris Media. She used to come in. Shout out to Natalie DeSalle from BAPS. She had just passed away, and we had talked about me getting accepted. I just got accepted to grad school. I was writing the book, and I was like, I have a story to tell, and I want to tell it, and I want to be here to tell it. And I was like, I got to do something different. I was like, something's not right. I said, I feel there's greatness for me, but I'm blocking myself from doing it by the lifestyle that I'm living. And I said, I ain't trying to be no nun now. Like, but I want to, what I can change,
Yeah.
I want to change. And I diet, food, drugs, all that. Now,
And you look
I feel
amazing.
great.
Period.
I
Right.
feel great. I feel good. But
So can you dead all the rumors of your weight loss surgery?
yeah, I don't have a weight loss. Only scar on my stomach is when my appendix ruptured.
Thank
when I
you.
had an
Get into
appendectomy.
it.
Thank you.
That's the only surgery I've ever
all
had to have.
natural.
And I can't really technically, I have to avoid surgery at all costs because of hypoglycemia with my blood sugar dropping.
It's just not safe.
It's not safe for me. Like, it needs to be emergency for that to happen.
Right.
Because
Right.
I think when my appendectomy, they had to stop like 4 or 5 times because my blood pressure gotten that low. So,
Wow.
no, I'm not cutting myself open to look like a piece of pulled out Play-Doh. Sorry.
We know it's LA, and that's what the girls do here. But
Well, I can't do it. I wish
And the
I
boys
could.
do.
Right, and the boys.
The boys get eggs.
Oh,
They get edges.
absolutely.
They get edges.
Absolutely.
They get their fake.
Are men
abs.
getting dick extensions?
No.
You
I heard that was a
can-
thing.
Yeah, it's a penal implant.
what?
You
I
can
think
make
that's
it
a thing.
thicker or longer.
Mookie.
Well,
I'm
I
cool.
have some recommendations that I can offer.
Yeah, because
Yes,
some of
I
these men
do.
in LA now, since a
That
bitch
you can
can lost
offer?
weight, I
Yes,
can
there's
be
some
men.
recommendations to you.
And who I thought was swinging ain't swinging.
That's all. Well, see, last week we talked about, they were like, okay,
Let's
who
get
was your
into
dream
it.
person to sleep with or whatever you think would have like the best sex? And I was saying Nas, but I'm like, he's too fine.
But
Nas has dick.
I feel like he's too fine. Like,
Nas
you know
has
what I mean?
dick.
I feel like God gives
He
you
could
one or
be,
the
no,
other.
He could be
right?
fine and have the pipe.
It be
you
them
think so?
busted.
Okay,
But
wait.
Nas's sex scene in Belly was a little dry, so I don't know if he's on my list.
X
But
probably would
DMX
have
was
had.
hype.
Right.
Rest in peace,
Well,
DMX.
I mean, DMX got like the 15 kids to prove.
Exactly.
But
Nick
Right.
Cannon
I
does
feel-
too.
Right. So there's that.
I know Ray J's your castmate. Sorry, Princess, but we know.
Right.
Not personally, of course.
One of y'all slept with Ray J?
No.
Not yet.
Oh my God.
Hell no.
That's on the bucket list.
I want to say me and Princess just got cool.
But Ray J, listen, respectfully.
Ray J is very handsome.
Okay,
Ray J is handsome.
For the sake of Ray's friendship with Princess, no one here has slept with Ray.
Yeah, girl. And then Princess fight too. Like Princess
Right.
don't go about it.
Princess will pull up with Melody in the back.
I know that's right. Both of you. She got the
Right.
hilarious.
Fucked up. What's up?
Hilarious.
But no,
Yeah.
but we have a little, celebrity hit list. So
Not the hit list.
Not a celebrity hit
a little
list.
celebrity hit list.
What some of that have you experienced? Like, I mean, like I was saying before we got on, like, if you watch your story, you literally can have an inside look into the industry, what these industry parties look like. And to be honest, I think maybe this is like a domestic thing, like we're all over, people feel like that, but I definitely feel like in LA, Hollywood is like a super big thing. Everybody wants to be at the best parties,
Everybody
with the
wants
best
to be at
outfits,
the latest
and
parties.
the VIPs, with the celebrities, and you've been next to Kim Kardashian,
Been there,
everybody,
done that.
you know what I mean, for years and years and years. So I mean, like, are there any things that that you've seen over the years? Although I know it may be in the book, so, it may be in the book. I got to make sure to get that. But I mean, is there anything that you can think off the top of your head where it was just kind of like a crazy situation where you just seen some crazy stuff? People be thinking it's like
have COVID.
Why?
I have both vaccinated, okay, girl?
Right. Wild
vaccinated.
orgies in the hills, and people.
Well, I've been to orgy parties, of course. I have fun. Bitches skinny these days. But the craziest moment I can remember, it was actually the 2008 or 9. I think it was the 2008 BET Awards when it was Virgin Islands and Virginia together. Remember we went to all the parties, we rode in the limo together.
That was so fun.
So Vanessa and I met, and we clicked immediately. Like, she drinks and parties just like me. Shout out to Vanessa.
What is
I
Vanessa?
love Vanessa.
Vanessa's a what?
And we were at the BET Awards. Remember they used to have the party. After party was at the Roosevelt.
Yes.
And so Suge Knight and Mike Tyson were coming up this. Specifically, it was Mike Tyson was coming this way. Vanessa and I were leaving the bar coming this way down the ramp.
Right.
He didn't move, and neither did we. So I bumped him. And so Vanessa's like, Vanessa knew who he was immediately. Vanessa's like, and so I'm like, excuse me, and I kept going, and so he was like, what? And I turned around, I was like, you bumped me. Like, my drink had fell or whatever. And Vanessa's like, so he said something, so his homeboy, like, takes him this way. Vanessa's like, bitch, do you know who that was?
Right.
And I was like, who? She was like, that was fucking Mike Tyson, man. You was about to get knocked out. I done mushed him out. He done mushed
effortlessly.
him like,
Baby.
You would have got punched easily.
I was so drunk. Those parties used to be so lit.
Now that's a story to tell.
Oh my God, those parties used to be so lit.
Yes.
There was open bar at every corner of that room.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, I bumped my.
That's dangerous.
Oh my God. Well,
Let me tell you.
Well, I'm glad you made it through. Mike probably like, whatever.
Made it through.
We was at the hotel. Remember we had the hotel downtown, so we all ended up in one room together. We were all laughing about it later, like, bitch, I didn't mush him. Let me not say I mushed. I shoulder bumped Mike Tyson, like, bitch, yeah, you walk.
That's enough.
Move.
Right.
Move.
That is
Oh my God.
crazy.
I would never forget that story.
Mike Tyson? Bro.
Out of all
hilarious.
people.
Partying
Mike
with
Tyson.
Ray is absolutely fun. Ray used to scream out the
We
window.
need a whole-
So that's our. So this is our funny
a
memory.
whole
Just so you
have-
know.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
When we used to go to clubs or whatever, this is after the club. So we'll go to club, we're loaded or whatever, we're in the car,
Beyond
whatever.
loaded. What
do you mean?
We're driving through Hollywood or whatever. Ray will roll the window down and just scream at the people in the corner. He'll be like,
Like,
bitch,
Do that.
to scare people.
dead. When I tell you
had-
dead, we
I
would be
still do that.
dying.
What does that mean? You
Listen,
want to smack somebody or something?
No, I don't, girl.
on the corner, people be like, we would be dying. It was the funniest shit.
It's not supposed to be a scare. It's supposed to be like a monkey.
Oh, no.
Remember Cheryl Underwood in Barbershop?
Oh, yes,
yes,
yes.
Bread?
Oh, my God.
I don't know why I get you, but that's like what Fallon does her voice. Like, I don't want to
Right.
I really wish that we could get together and do something with all of us together, because
Yeah.
the group of us, I say the group, the family of College Hill, everyone literally has their own personality. Like,
Yes.
and it's we all, now do we fuss
You might need to
sometimes?
be the ringleader.
Well,
Well, he is.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of I'm like the house mother.
He is.
I don't want to support them. I want them to all do this stuff, because I want to make this very clear to everybody. no one went on College Hill necessarily to. We were early, so no one went on there trying to be a reality star. Like,
Right.
Fallon is doing what she does with her music. Rodney with managing 2 franchises of McDonald's.
Right.
People having kids. Audrina has a salon in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think Deidre just had a little baby. She's in Atlanta. She's in Texas doing mortgage. Dorian with the cosmetics. Like, we all. What I love about this franchise and with us is that everyone has their own lane, whether it's music, acting, being a mom, being a dad. Milan is the one who's really lit. Milan is
Milan
in
looks so
Dubai
good.
with
Oh
a millionaire husband with 3 beautiful boys.
She looks amazing.
Shout out to all the College Hill babies as well.
Yes,
Shout out to
beautiful
all
babies.
the babies. Beautiful,
what about the
beautiful
one that
babies.
has like 6 or 7? That kind of love. I just know
That's
her Instagram
Kendra from
name.
the first. She's from the first No Draw.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, we're a big family. Like,
Really?
if anybody needs to have a family reunion, it's us because there's so many
So
kids
many.
now.
Yeah, beautiful children, yeah.
And we're all alive. We're all healthy. We all support each other. I mean,
Yeah.
like, everybody hits each other up doing different things. I mean, they stuff won't be on the blogs. Like, mine might be every once in a while. But they reach out to me, they hit us up, and then,
Where
it's
do you
cool.
guys think the brand of College Hill kind of went down the hill? Because it was always lit. I never,
I feel like it was the switch in
I was gonna say that too.
from Stephen Hill to Deborah. I think her name was Deborah.
Deborah
Lee.
Lee.
And I don't think it necessarily
It went
went
from college to
downhill.
city.
There we go. It went from like College Hill, and then they did like College
because I
Hill
feel like
interns.
it could still be on air. Like,
Well, after they did the College Hill interns, I think that didn't like translate as College Hill did.
It was too much College Hill at one time. It was Atlanta. I mean, it was us. Then it was Virgin Island. That was huge.
Right.
And then our DVDs came out, and then it was they just threw interns right before Atlanta came out. So it was like they were.
And the interns
it was
didn't really
in
make any
between,
sense.
and it was like.
And
really,
I think they tried to like heighten the drama, and it was like, at that point,
Like
it
they were
kind
reaching
of
a little
right,
bit. I
kind of
think they were
fell
trying
off
to
because
milk it.
you
and,
pretty
and
much
a lot
stop
of
at
some of them on Atlanta were
VSU.
supposed to actually be on the. They were casted for the Atlanta season, but they ended up putting them on the interns. Kashif
okay.
was supposed to be actually. Shout out to Kashif.
Kashif's really handsome too.
Kashif is fine.
Yeah, and his wife is beautiful too.
Gorgeous
She looks just
wife,
like
Nicki
Nicki.
Minaj.
She looks- her wife-
Yes,
his
shout out
wife
to
looks like Nicki
them.
Minaj. Yeah.
He was supposed to be on the Atlanta season because
Okay.
he's really good friends with Ant. So they were all supposed to be together, but I mean, it worked out how it
Where's
worked out.
sorry to interrupt. Where's
Ask about him, girl. Who is it?
Right.
he got cheering. Remember at the club Ray was talking about what's
Cheering.
his
He's talking
name?
about, he's talking about JT.
JT. What,
JT
what's-
has
what-
kids?
You was say, you didn't
Right.
remember, you had said
Oh,
Okay,
JT,
I feel like we
see him a
no,
lot.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
tell- I feel like we
JT got a
started to
girlfriend
realize-
and got a bunch of kids.
Yes.
And he was like, when
me
you said
tell
something like
you.
JT got cheering.
We-
That's
No,
like-
they was grown.
Right.
They was
Right.
above 2 feet.
We went to the club
hilarious.
for
Tell that story. Tell that
party.
story.
Who party was it? I don't remember.
know. We were
Girl,
going to
like
so many
Marcus was
things.
there and shit.
Oh my
He was-
God,
it was like-
random.
It was
We
a
were going
night.
to so many parties.
Random.
And it was like college girl. Did we all ride together? Did Ray ride with us? Because we pulled up and saw JT and his friends, and Ray was like, "They're not getting in." Sorry, JT.
Now, let me tell you a story about JT back in the day. JT used
Back
to
in the day.
wear
No shade, JT.
4X t-shirts.
Which was the style.
That was lit back then.
But he was dressed like a franchise boy, but we wasn't
In
the
Atlanta.
franchise. We wasn't in Atlanta.
We wasn't franchise.
Hollywood.
No, it was like, oh my god, like okay, so
Yeah.
no, I'm
The
JT
east side.
from the east side.
Right.
From the east side.
I think I'm
Ooh,
merging.
child.
I take that back. This was 2 different
I
nights.
didn't say it like that.
It was 2 different nights, but this particular night he was in the club with us, and we were talking to Ray, and Ray was like, "JT got cheering," like
Because of the girl he was with had
yeah,
kids.
because the girl he was with had like maybe a
How
bunch
many
of kids
did?
or
No,
older
JT had
kids.
disappeared off social for a minute because him.
Right.
Because
What's his Instagram?
this was years ago, girl.
anybody-
This was years
real
ago.
thing.
But this was like
Yeah, this was when
I remember
something.
JT from Pimp My Ride.
Right.
MTV.
And he was on Your Mama.
Yeah, it's on Your Mama.
So he was already trying to get into the
I will
loop.
tell you this much: out of all the College Hill parents, JT's mom and dad was super supportive, and they came
Yeah.
out to every event any of us did. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were all- his mama turned up.
Yeah.
Shout out to JT's mama.
Right.
And his brother used to come.
I'm
His
gonna try to
brother
find
should be
JT.
grown now too. That boy. Was,
Yeah, no, his whole camp was like super solid and
Yeah,
like
they
super
was-
supportive
Yeah.
of what he was doing. And he
they
was
were- they
out
was
here. He was already
extremely cool.
out here though before he even did College Hill, to be honest.
Yeah, he
And
was
then-
already acting and doing stuff.
JT,
then,
Yeah,
right?
music and different
Okay.
stuff like that, like trying to,
But I did
stuff.
see through
Spooky's a shady
Facebook, not
bitch.
Facebook.
I'm about to try to find him.
He does acting now, like he does producing,
Production
he does
and-
production.
yeah.
So shout out to JT
Yeah.
for that.
And it's
No,
funny
you
because
don't.
when you type in JT from
Thrown
college on
into the
Instagram,
mix.
Willie comes up, Alan comes up.
Don't you mention that again? That'll start a whole other argument, girl.
That
She
he'll come
said
up.
when you Google JT, Willie Mack name come up.
Oh my God.
Willie
that
Mack
mean?
and Fallon come up.
That's it.
Okay.
When you type in JT from College Hill Instagram, Willie Mack comes up and Fallon comes up.
Well, that's just
because he kissed. I mean, him and Fallon to me would have been the cutest couple on College Hill.
Not off.
They would have been cute to me. You and him would have been so cute.
The shade of it all was that my baby daddy and I were talking at that time.
Let me talk. Let's talk about.
So he'd been around.
Let's talk about it.
He had been only a couple of months prior.
Okay.
And so it was still very early, but I mean, you know, to a man, he kind of like, bitch, I don't care. We was together for 2 weeks. Like, you are mine. Like, girl, what are you doing?
I saw a picture you posted. You guys had a date night.
Yeah.
Like, y'all getting married? Let me interview you. If y'all
Right.
getting married, is it a wedding?
Right. It's a wedding. Right. No.
It's a bride.
Right. I love my baby daddy, though. We have such a tight-knit bond now. But I mean, at the time or whatever, I was kind of talking to him. And then again, remember when I was on the show, I didn't want to do too much. I knew it was going to air.
Fallon was like the Nunu of College Hill. Like, all the guys love Fallon. It was like, Fallon was not trying to be bothered with him. She's like, bitch, I live in L.A. I see this
But
shit all
I
the
connected
time.
with JT, though, because he was an LA vibe. You know what I'm saying? And in the VI, it was a totally different vibe. Like, the dudes are different.
I imagine them all to be uncircumcised. I just imagine guys that see? Most Caribbean boys are uncircumcised. And
I didn't get to see. I would be none the wiser. I wouldn't know. The flavor just wasn't my speed and my steez. But shout out to JT.
Right.
Shout out to all my college
I'll try to
season
find him
4
later.
and
College
season
Hill
3.
Virgin Islands was.
I think we're the closest. Season 3 and season 4.
and 4 are the closest. We can't
That's
break
like
behind
on
each other.
average, that's like fan favorites.
Yeah.
Like you forget whatever came after the Virgin
They don't even
Islands.
show us on television, and people still talk about us with them. Like
Did
they
you ever get tired of the
Absolutely.
cognac? Because that was like a thing.
That is the
That
I
was
have
like
been
a
drinking
thing.
dark liquor for free for 15 years. When I go to the club, niggas be like, "Oh, that's Mr. Ray with
cognac.
Got you."
Cognac.
Or people be like, "Oh, I bought you a shot." Nowadays you gotta be like,
Right.
"All right, now, what's up?"
Okay.
Let me make sure you're trying to molly me.
Talk about that.
Exactly.
No, it ain't how it used to be.
No, it's
That
not.
is so
Oh my
nice.
goodness, we have known each other a long
Super long time. And you've always treated us with respect and kindness and realness. And, you know, I think this industry shit, especially when people come out to LA, they don't come south of the 10. Would it be south of the 10? South of the 10.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
As I said, the other end of the one.
The other end of the one, or, you know, I mean, and you be everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't you have a relative that lives in
Right up here on Angeles Vista.
in the Baldwin Hills?
Baldwin Hills, right in my auntie. Yeah,
So,
right
yeah.
there.
So
I got a
you
lot
have-
of my grandmother's sister actually lives on the other side, over in Hyde Park, on that other side, on that over there.
Okay. He
Behind
dropping
the
something.
Orleans.
You wouldn't know unless you know with these
Yeah.
names.
Right,
that
what I'm
he's
talking
saying.
about. Yeah, I have a
Right,
lot
Hyde
of
Park.
family.
Okay.
I got family on Rim Park. I got family over here on Hillcrest. Like, it's shout out to the cars and the
Real
Harrison.
Crenshaw babies.
That's
Yes.
Chrissy section.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't think I'm out here by myself. Someone will roll up on you that I don't even know.
Okay. All that valley shit. No shade, no
No, I just live in the
tea.
valley, but the rest of my grandma's in Pasadena, but the rest of the
You got
family.
people to call you. Right.
That's what I told her today. I said, I'm gonna be over in the area already visiting my
Yes,
cousin.
my cousin.
So
Right.
Right.
Well, I was
West.
man down, so that was so hung the fuck over. Ray was like, I'm like, we can't get there.
what did you do for the fourth?
We can't get. So I went to Curly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Curly.
I was
They
on
still had a 4th of
second.
July party.
No, they wasn't supposed to. So I asked. We didn't even say how was y'all weekend.
We
no
did- we
reason.
got straight
We
to
got a
it.
part
Let's-
two.
we got
No, we got
part
part
two.
two.
I'm here for the whole night,
We got
y'all.
part two.
Oh,
I'm here for
Right.
everything.
Matter of
Okay.
fact, we're gonna hold it right here. We're gonna hold it tight. We're gonna wrap this up.
We're gonna hold the line.
We're gonna hold the line because we're gonna really turn it up.
Yes.
Right.
We're gonna get into some questions.
Yes.
We're gonna take some of this crown you've been working. This is dope.
Okay. Can we party? Can we parlay?
Party with Ray, part 2. Shut it down.